Hi, today I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute little Christmas tree decorations. So for this project you're going to need some green clay. You can use whatever shade you like, but today I'm using Peapod in Studio by Sculpey. I've got some leftover brown clay for the trunk, then I have a cutting blade, and I'm also using some Christmas tree shaped cutters. If you don't have any to hand, then all you need to do is draw the tree shape out on a piece of cereal box card or some light cardstock, and then you can use the blade to cut around the template. To make the nice little icing effect, the snow effect on the trees, you can use puffy 3D puffy fabric paint, or you can just use some basic white acrylic paint. Okay, so first I need to condition and roll out my clay, which I've just done. And I've rolled this through my pasta making machine on a setting of 3, and that's 2mm thickness. Again, if you don't have one of those type of machines at home, you can just use 2 coffee stirrers as spacers, and then just put the clay in the middle and roll over it, and that will make sure that the clay is nice and thin and the same thickness throughout. So next I just need to cut out some shapes using my cutters. You can make them any shape, size, not any shape, what am I saying? You can make them any size you want. If you want to try other tree shapes, then that's also fine. It doesn't have to be strictly these ones. So I'm going to put my clay to one side for a minute, and the next step, if you're using the Christmas shaped cutters that I'm using, you just need to get rid of the trunks. The next step after this is to put them in the oven and cure them until they're firm, and then once they've cooled down you can start to begin the attaching the trunks to the tree part. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to carry on making some more of them, and when I'm finished I'll be back and I'll show you how to do the second part. Okay, so now I have cured quite a lot of trees. I made quite a few of them, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to make the trunk for a larger, medium and smaller size tree. What I've done is I've rolled some logs with the brown clay, and as you can see I've got a chunky one for the bigger tree, medium size, and then a smaller one for the little tree. Anyway, all you need to do is just measure it, so I'd say a bit over 1 centimetre for the larger tree. It's kind of like creating a clay dowel. You want to take your cutting blade and then just push down a bit so you have an opening that's large enough, if I move that near the camera, large enough to fit the tree in the middle. And that's why I rolled it thinner. I mean, I should have mentioned that earlier on in the video, but one reason why I did roll it for a setting of 3 is because it's just easier to fit it in between the trunk part. So you want to make sure it's standing nicely. Once you're happy with the trunk as a base, it's not going to fall over or anything like that, and it's nice and even on the bottom, you can take a toothpick and just create some texture on the trunk instead of just having the clay all plain. So I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to do the same with the medium sized one. Again, it's just a case of measuring it. I'm happy with that. Again, maybe a bit under 1 centimetre. Let the blade go through a little on the log and place it in the middle. Just squeeze lightly. You don't need any bonding clay like Sculpey Bond and Bake or anything like that, because it should adhere to the baked clay quite well. Again, I'm going to add a little bit of texture on my trunk. I'm happy with that. Just making sure it stands nicely. It's good. And then finally this one. So as I'm doing this final one, I'm just going to talk a little bit about curing the trunk part. Just make sure that the temperature isn't on too high. Make sure it doesn't go over the recommended temperature on the packaging, because you don't want this part to bend over in the heat, and that will happen. When you're curing the trunk bit to finish your tree, you also want to make sure that it's standing well in the oven, the heat's not too high, and I'm sure there was something else I was meant to remember, but they're the 2 main things. This one warped a bit because I put it in, the heat went over the 130 degrees, so just kind of watch the oven, make sure that it doesn't go too high, and then you won't have that problem. That one still stands okay, but I'd rather have it upright, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to continue finishing putting on the trunks on the trees. I'm going to cure them, and then I'm going to show you how to just finish off the tree and then give you some more suggestions. Okay, so I just finished curing them and they've cooled down, so the final part is doing the decorations. So with one of the trees I used a toothpick and I just made a hole at the top, and I've taken some red ribbon and just threaded it through, so I'm going to have this as a little decoration hanging up in the house. The others I can just stand up and have them as display pieces. I just want to mention quickly before I start decorating them, if you're using a halogen oven, then please put the larger trees to the outer part of the oven as the fan is blowing in the middle, and it might cause them to sway a bit. Anyway, now for the icing, or shall I say the snow on the tree. I'm using Tulip Slick 3D fabric paint, but you can use white acrylic paint and just apply with a toothpick. If you're going to do it this way, then all you need to do is press slightly on the bottle and just go down each tier like this. I'm going to do that on the other side. I hope you can see this okay. You don't want too much. Again, a toothpick is just as good, but I like this 3D paint. It's worth buying some. And then you can always bring it in a little bit if you want. Depends on how realistic you want it to use. If you're quite happy for it to look kind of like icing sugar or a toy tree, then I think that's quite nice. It's not bad. So that's one done. I'm going to give you some more ideas on decorating. I've got some glitter glue, and I've got all my 3D paint. Again, you can use acrylic, and then I've got some coloured polymer clay strips as well. So I think with this one I might, sorry I'm shaking my bottle, I might just do a little bit of yellow tinsel. I don't know how this is going to look, it might be a disaster, but again, the decorations are purely up to you. You can make them as outrageous, colourful, bright, crazy, over the top as you want. I love the 3D paint myself. If you want to put the polymer clay decorations on, then obviously do it before you cure it. But as I said, there's no set way of doing it. You can make it as bright, colourful, gaudy, crazy, wacky, big, small as you like. I don't know, what else shall I put on my tree? I'm quite enjoying this. I might put a bit of snow on as well. I might just put a little blue, I don't know, that was a that was a blue blob. That didn't look so good. Anyway, I'm sure you can do a much better job than I can. I'm sure you can probably do a lot better than that. But all I'm doing is just, I guess, trying to give you some ideas. So you can hang it on a tree, you can also have it just as scattered around and maybe use it to decorate a gingerbread house, or do whatever you like. Be creative as possible, because it is Christmas. I think I might finish it with a little bit of glitter glue. Oh god, what's that? Oh no, that's not looking so great. Never mind. But I mean, I like the sparkly stuff. I think we all do. I think I'm making a bit of a mess of this. I should stop. It's addictive. Anyway, I think you get the picture. So glitter, acrylic paint, little balls of polymer clay to decorate it are all options. And again, as I said a minute ago, you could probably do a lot better than me. Alternatively, little bubbles. I also, whenever I do a video, I always have a photo at the beginning. So the stills at the beginning of the video are also just tips, ideas, inspiration for you all to try for Christmas decorations this year. Don't hold back. Unfortunately, this clay is a little bit crumbly. But again, you can see just taking very small clays of polymer clay, different colours, roll it up, have a little heat, and your fingers there to help pan it out. But you get the idea. I mean, you can try in all different kinds of colours. And I think that's pretty much the video finished. Thank you very much for walking. I was going to say thank you very much for walking. And Merry Christmas to you. Okay, goodbye.